Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. I am leaving my wife tomorrow and I couldn't be happier. Plus updates. Original post. I, 45 male, and my wife, 44 female, have been married for 10 years. We dated for 6 years before that, and I got a lot of pressure to get married from my parents, her parents, and her. Something in my gut said that this wasn't right. I called it cold feet and did my best to ignore it, and we got married. Pretty much the moment the ink was dry on our marriage license, things went south. On our honeymoon, she did nothing but complain that I hadn't booked a nicer hotel. Then in the following months, she wanted a new apartment, a new car, gifts, jewelry, handbags. It was never enough. It's like the moment she got the ring, it stopped being about me and became about what I could give her. I am a doctor, and I make good money. Not good enough to support the kind of lifestyle she wants though. We don't even get intimate anymore. We don't laugh. We don't talk about anything but money. We have no kids. She said she wanted them before marriage, then changed her mind. Our home looks like a showroom, and there is no warmth nor joy or even comfort here. I hate it. I hate her. I am a 45-year-old physician and I have barely enough savings to sustain us for 3 months. I want to retire someday. I want to enjoy my life. I rented a cool apartment across town in a less desirable neighborhood, and there's a stack of IKEA furniture waiting for me to set it up there. The lease is up on the Mercedes my wife pushed me to lease next month, and I will be replacing it with a used Prius. I'm starting therapy next week. I have a divorce attorney who has assured me that the prenup we signed before marriage means I won't have to pay alimony. I hope to leave the higher-paying job that my wife insisted I take for something with less hours sometime in the next year. I am going to ask out the pretty barista who flirts with me every morning. I'm telling her first thing tomorrow. I'm expecting her to cry and beg and demand we try therapy. I don't want any of that. This was never right, and I'm only sorry it took me so long to realize it. I'm sorry I've wasted so much of my life being married to a woman because I thought it was the right thing. I am so excited. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. We are going to need an update about this after the call, but good luck. The best thing you did was the prenup. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. People get a prenup, but I don't think. That's correct. You don't think. You think nothing. Get a prenup. I have $3. Split the $3 and get a prenup. The older I get, the more people I see who have ruined their lives. I was always opposed to the idea as, you don't go into marriage planning for it to fail. Then a lawyer once told me, friend's parent, that anything can happen in life, and with a proper prenup, you can protect your spouse too. I can't remember any details that make sense though, so I will leave it at that. But coming from a lawyer, I really took note. Don't ask out or date anyone until everything has settled down and cooled off after the divorce. No one in the world will not suspect you just started having a wandering eye if you do. Do yourself a favor and preserve your freedom after the divorce. If you taint it with another person, you're always going to simply be a cheater who wanted a divorce to sleep around, and will never hear the end of it from the ex, family, or friends. Also, if you think your wife is only with you for the money, but don't suspect the barista is only flirting for the tips, laughing out loud. Thanks to everyone who has concerns about the prenup, but my lawyers and I are confident. At the time we got married, she has a significant inheritance, now nearly gone, which her family insisted on seeing protected. Her lawyer and my lawyer agreed on this, and we both signed. I'd say get a witness when you tell her. People can go insane when they think they are being broken up with, and you need protection in case of a he said she said scenario, or at least record it. I've seen a lot of people also mention, which seems like common sense, but can be overlooked in the moment, do not sleep with her. Going along with having witnesses for personal protection. Also make sure you limit your encounters with her in the coming days or weeks. Good luck. Edit. Alright folks, I've gotten a lot of comments begging me not to ask out the barista as it's her job to be nice to me. I didn't really get into the relationship I have with her, because I didn't think it was relevant to the divorce. But here goes. I met her about a year ago. She's 30. I don't usually wear a wedding ring because my job requires me to scrub regularly. She actually asked me out, invited me to a food truck festival in town, a few months into knowing each other. I said I was married and she was embarrassed. Since then, we've had a bit of a running joke going where she asks me, so, still married? My current plan is to reply, not for long, and see what happens. I appreciate the internet's apprehension. In truth, I would probably say the same thing if I didn't know the backstory, but I promise I'm not a creep. Now for the first update. First of all, man, I didn't expect the first post to blow up. I really was getting it off my chest, and expected a few good luck comments and not much more. I know a lot of people were asking for an update, so here goes. Usually when I wake up, I go for a run or a bike ride. While I'm gone, my wife gets up, gets dressed, gets a smoothie going, whatever. This morning I paced the kitchen, rehearsing what I had to tell her over and over again. When she finally came down, I felt oddly calm. I wasn't expecting to be panicked exactly, but apprehensive at least. I told her I needed to speak to her. She gave me an and didn't look up from the coffee machine. Then I just came out with it. I told her I was leaving and that I wanted a divorce, that we haven't been happy in a long time, and I felt as though she didn't care about me or my emotional needs. Pretty much instantly the gaslighting began. She cried that I never get her flowers anymore, that I don't do enough to support her, that I don't care if she's happy. I brought up the fact that I suggested therapy over a year ago, and she agreed, but then made excuse after excuse not to go. I brought up the time she completely ignored the budget we worked on. I told her how it made me feel when she dismissed me, when I tried to tell her how I was feeling. The crying escalated then, along with begging for a chance to make this right, to go to therapy, that she would be better. It went like I thought it would go, and I felt absolutely nothing. I don't care anymore. Whatever I once felt for her is just dead and gone, and she might as well have been a second cousin sobbing about her marriage for all the connection I felt to it. Eventually, I just got fed up and walked out. She has been blowing up my phone with calls and texts, which range from angry to begging, to threatening. I started getting calls from her mother, and mine too by the end of the day. I spoke briefly to my mother, and calmly explained that I was sorry she didn't hear it from me, but my wife was sucking me dry financially and emotionally, and I couldn't do it anymore. She was surprisingly supportive. I'm currently in my new apartment. I unrolled the mattress in a box, and went to Walmart for sheets. I ate Thai takeout for dinner at the kitchen counter and watched a bit of Netflix on my computer. I have everything I need for the next few days. My wife is getting served tomorrow. I keep expecting the sadness to set in, but it hasn't. I feel like 1,000 pounds are off my shoulders, and suddenly my future is full of possibilities. I'm going to travel, I'm going to try new restaurants, I'm going to take a job that actually makes me happy and proud instead of rich. Much to the internet's chagrin, I will ask out the barista, because despite unpopular opinion, she is both age appropriate. It's her family's business, and I do have the interpersonal skills to recognize the difference between customer service and actual connection. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to have a beer and then take a walk around my new neighborhood. He only has 3 months worth of savings after 10 plus years as a physician. She's blowing through $150,000 a year minimum. Well, not anymore, I guess. No wonder she's crying. She got fired on her day off. Why is it that people who marry someone for their money and then completely neglect are so surprised when they leave? Good on OP. I hope he has fun, makes some risky decisions, and enjoys life for a while. Because they think they are doing the other person a favor by marrying them. They think they are an absolute catch, and anyone they deign to be with needs to pamper them and cater to their every whim for the privilege. It's just narcissism. So you've met my cat. I really needed to read this today. Today would have been my anniversary with my ex-wife, and I felt myself becoming a bit maudlin. Then this reminded me of just how much better off I am without her constant negativity and lazy mooching. I hope for nothing but the best for OP, and hope he finds what he needs in life and love. As it happens, today would also be my anniversary with my ex-wife. I've been lucky, it's been 7 years since, and every element of my life is better now than it was before. 7 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but here I am. If it's new to you, keep your chin up. It gets better. You've got this. When my ex and I finally decided to divorce, we both had to go in person to change the utilities from my name to his. When we were there, the clerk asked why we were switching it. When we told her, she looked shocked and said, "But you both look so happy." We were like, that's exactly the point. Happy to be getting divorced. Now for the second update. So it's been over a week since I asked for the divorce, and things are slowly progressing. My wife and I sat down yesterday to discuss the next few months. She is still extremely in denial about my leaving, and seems to be convinced that if she offers me the right thing or say the right words, I will come back. I won't. I don't love her anymore. I don't feel any loyalty toward her, and the divorce is just a legal formality for how I am already feeling, which is that she is not my wife. She has gotten representation, and my attorney is preparing to offer a generous settlement, more than she is entitled to, if she signs quickly, and we can start moving forward. I'm almost positive she will reject it in the hopes of keeping this going long enough for me to back down. However, yesterday, I more or less said, I'm not changing my mind. Let's not waste money on the lawyers because you think I will. But I don't think she really heard me, so I'm readying myself for a fight. I know a lot of people were curious about the barista, and I actually have a small update on that front as well. 2 days ago, I managed to work the divorce into conversation with her, and she was surprised but seemed happy for me. She is a ceramic artist and invited me to a fundraising event her studio is throwing for our city's community pantry, and I'm going. So, we'll see what happens. Thanks for all the support, everyone. I'm feeling extremely optimistic about my life, and while the divorce is sure to suck, I still wake up every day happy and excited for my day. I haven't felt like that in years. Now for some advice before reading the last update. I think you should work with the lawyer to get the wording right, but there's gotta be a way you can chip away at what she gets if she is causing unnecessary delay. Like, the first offer wasn't good enough. Let's take away $500 a month in alimony in the second offer. Rinse and repeat. Chill out with the barista chick, because if your wife learns of this, your divorce is gonna go from potentially contentious to absolutely freaking soul-destroying. Right here, OP, your wife could likely claim you are having an affair. I don't know what that could possibly result in, as I've never been divorced, but tread lightly. If the wife has a good attorney, OP might get shafted beyond his wildest expectations, financially of course. If you're going to do anything with that barista, you should hold off on anything official till after your divorce, because it can be seen as an affair. Plus, the fact that the barista was commenting, still married, before the OP made the move to end his marriage, doesn't sit right with me. If a man is still with his wife, you don't hint that you'd be interested if he left his wife. Shouldn't have been any flirting going on by the barista or the doctor. I mean, is the kind of woman you want to end up with the kind that doesn't respect commitment, marriage or wedding vows? What if the OP gets with her, and then another married man catches her eye, maybe another doctor closer to her age? Just doesn't seem like a good start to me. That all depends on the state you live in. In Illinois, for instance, they don't care at all. My ex had multiple affairs. I was told by my attorney that no matter what, the state says it is a no-fault divorce. So basically, be sure to check. But also, for your own sake, if you can't explain it to someone without a minute of saying why my situation is different, then no one will believe you. We all make caveats for ourselves. And now for the last update. So thanks to everyone who's checked up on me. It's been a wild few weeks, and now that everything has settled down, I thought I would post an update for those still interested. First off, I did go on a date with the barista. She's a wonderful person and I like her a lot, but I didn't feel any particular connection or interest in pursuing it. We're still friendly, so no hard feelings. My wife has been extremely upset by the whole thing. I don't think I saw her display this much emotion in our entire marriage. She's been apologizing for her part in our marriage failure and trying to work it out. She claims to be willing to go to therapy and says she knows the spending got out of hand. The last time we spoke, I told her it wasn't the spending, it was the fact that she didn't give a damn about my feelings, my opinions, and my desires. I brought up how we talked for years about having children, then she put it off and put it off, until she finally admitted she didn't want them. It feels like our entire relationship was built on a shoddy foundation. It's over, and my position hasn't changed. I'm pushing forward with divorce proceedings and I'm hoping to be done with this by the end of the year. I actually got on a dating app and I have a few matches. I've decided that I'd still very much like to have kids, but at this stage in my life, stepkids are more probable, which is fine with me. I just really want an actual family and people to care about again. I'm trying to put myself out there more, going places, doing new things, meeting new people. My apartment is absolutely fantastic and I'm loving it. I'm the oldest person living in it by about 15 years, and my neighbors are all 20-somethings who call me Doc. I'm happy to be alive. The divorce is crap, but it's not weighing me down. No regrets. They all swear up and down that they are ready to change and work on themselves once they realize the free ride is over. Why should your partner have to take drastic measures for you to wake up and start being a true partner? It's all a game to these abusers. Good for the husband, good riddance to a selfish asshole. That's how I felt. He was willing to change once I no longer wanted to be married to him. He finally agreed to the marriage counseling I had asked for years. But I was done. Counseling just confirmed that he saw me as his servant and property. I think it is great he is living his life, but maybe he should take a break from relationships. He literally just left his wife and he is going on dates. They are barely separated, not because they are going to get back together, but because he needs to work on himself a bit. I think in this case, it might be an exception. He hasn't been in a relationship for quite a while because of these problems. I think the time that he'd need to process was sorta done before the papers got served, to be honest. Normally I'd agree, but this one, no, I think he's already done all of his thinking and work. I agree. I was in a marriage like that, pressured into marriage, and never really in love with a partner who never fostered the relationship to even give me someone to love. It was really easy to move on, and very quickly. Never even shed a tear for him. I had been fantasizing what it was like to be in love with someone for years at that point. What a lot of people don't get about divorce is that for the person choosing it, it's usually the end of a long journey they've already been on. For people just hearing about it, friends, family, or even the spouse, it's just the beginning. It's often shocking news, even if the person filing for divorce has confided in how bad things are. People think things will just work out. This guy is a perfect example of what a lot of people go through. The divorce is the end, after years of doubts, struggles, and unhappiness. They're finally so fed up that they're willing to endure all the emotional turmoil and social judgment that comes with it. So, when you see him or someone you know excited to date, be kind. They don't necessarily need time to adjust or define themselves, or in true Reddit speak, hit the gym. They've made their peace. Of course, if someone you care about is making unhealthy choices, you can express concern and love and support. But there's no set way for how someone should go through this. Don't make assumptions. Talk to the people you care about and hold space and be supportive. My favorite way to put it is, divorce doesn't kill the marriage, it's just the burial service.